Hello, my name is Thiago Silva. I am a graduate student from Sociability, and I'm here to present our paper called Characterization of Sociability on Systems of Ephemeral Narratives, an Instagram story case study. We picked this theme because there's a lot of social networks that have implemented this kind of systems, such as Facebook and Instagram stories and WhatsApp status and of course Snapchat. And this kind of system is created to share content that could be a text or an image or a video for a limited period of time, usually for 24 hours. So there's a lot of potential in this kind of system because this kind of system has created a whole new social interaction that makes the user share content every single day and makes the user not only visualize other stories but also share these stories with their friends. And also there's a lot of challenges that concerns the HCI area around the user experience and sociability guidelines. So, this paper was planned to uh, evaluate and characterize the sociability of ephemeral narratives platforms, and this study was held by a case study on Instagram stories. So the main question we try to answer in this paper is, does the interface and interaction model of the Instagram stories supports the social interaction among its users? And to answer that question, we adopt a methodology with 3 steps. The first one is an evaluation in the perspective of HCI experts. The second is an evaluation in the user's perspective. And the last one is triangulate these results. As main results for the evaluation in the perspective of HCI experts, the main object was to analyze whether the features offered by Instagram stories are adequate to UX and sociability guidelines. The method we used was the heuristic evaluation proposed by Newson. So when Newson proposed this kind of evaluation, he used the usability guidelines, but they open up this evaluation to other guidelines. Therefore, we picked the UX guidelines and the sociability guidelines. For this study, for this evaluation, we used 3 evaluators with experience in applying this heuristic evaluation, and we applied on October 2017. At the end of the evaluation, we found a total of 12 potential problems that violated at least one UX or sociability guidelines. For example, we can cite navigate between published stories. For example, to return, to stop, or to see the next one. The interface of this platform on Instagram stories does not show to the user how to make these steps. So during the visualization of the shared content in sequence, we observed that it may be hard for the users to identify how to stop or to return to a specific story. And this creates a potential problem because the interface does not make the option clear to this kind of navigation for the user. After applying the evaluation, we found out that all the guidelines were violated at least one, and the most violated were UX1, UX4, and UX 14. Therefore, we conclude on this evaluation that Instagram stories indeed offer different features to promote interaction among its users, but violating the UX guidelines and sociability guidelines may impair in the quality of the user interaction. So if the system does not use elements in this interface model to contextualize the user about the possibilities of use and social interaction, the users may not perceive or access the mechanisms offered. The other evaluation applied was in the user's perspective. The main objective was to investigate how the users have used Instagram stories and to characterize the perceptions and their opinions during the usage of this kind of platform. This evaluation was divided into methods: an evaluation in a control environment and a sociability survey. The period that we applied this evaluation was March 2018. The evaluation in the control environment focused on the use experience. So the 25 users selected by data separation executed 14 tasks on Instagram stories, accompanied by 2 HCI experts evaluators. So mainly the users that participated in this evaluation were between 20 and 29 years old. There are 55% women and 45% men, and all of the users that participate use Instagram at least 3 times a week and at least for 1 year. The results that we found was that 8 tasks were completed with errors or have not been completed for at least 9 users. The major difficulties that these users faced was mark a friend in a photo or video, or mark a location, or to create a pool in a story. And some of the users make comments about making these tasks and facing difficulties, such as first, I published the story without the markup because I did not know the system feature. When you asked me to do it, I did not find the option on the interface. So I sent the story directly to the person who I wanted to mark. Basically, the problems we face in this step of the evaluation also showed up that most of these users do not know how to perform the profile markup or the location, and to find a feature on the interface. So, the problem reported by the HCI experts have impacted on the sociability on Instagram stories users. By violating the UX and sociability guidelines related to easiness of the use, feedback, flexibility, and the stimulation to the social interaction, the Instagram stories does not use interface and interaction elements that consist with the expectations and experience of the participants for this evaluation. We saw that the users face difficulties in recognizing and using resources that were offered by this kind of platform to socialize. So the next method we used was the online survey. We focused on characterize insights and opinions of the users about the features offered by the Instagram stories. We had 225 users that participate, and they also use the Instagram stories for at least 3 times a week and at least for 1 year. And for this evaluation, 51% of the participants were women and 49% men. We found out that 6-7% of the participants have more than 500 friends, and the most motivation for using this kind of platform is to share good times with friends and to see the reactions that the content that they shared, and also because the shared content is temporary. uh, for the use of the resources, at least 42% of the participants do not know or do not use or rarely use all the functionalities to support social interaction. And 60% of the participants make limited use of the resources that should be used to promote sociability. On this graph, we can see, for example, that comment a story with a snap or to perform a shared live, and also send a story from one friend to another. Most of the participants do not know how to use this functionality. Uh, we also asked about the demands for improvements in the features offered by Instagram Stories, and suggested by 80% there is to ensure that all information is visible, readable, and easily accessible. There are also demands in a way of ensure people to know how to use existing features, allow the users to get information they need easily with no need to memorize, and ensure the use of the social network. In general, the suggestions are all related to the ease of use, the feedback for the interface, the flexibility, and also to stimulating social interaction in different ways. Therefore, in the triangulating the results we found in these three evaluations, we found out that Instagram Stories users may be having difficulty recognizing and using the features offered by this platform to socially interact with their friends. And considering the participants, the Instagram Stories does not use the elements of interface interaction that are consistent with the user expectation in previous experiences. And in the convergence of the evaluations, the users may be making limited use of the features offered. So the interface and interaction model of Instagram Stories calls for improvements. And also, the principles of UX and sociability are important because they stimulate the satisfactory experience of use and sociability. This is because the evaluations of these qualities of use can impact in the quality of social interaction. For conclusions, the study indicates how the Instagram Stories interface and interaction model supports and limits the sociability for their users, and the findings presented provide useful insights and recommendations for the design of ephemeral communication systems more focused on sociability in the future. For future works, we wanted to investigate sociability in this kind of systems for different groups of users and cultures. For example, adolescents, like teenagers, and people with special needs. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy it.